What is up, dudes, dudes? Welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today, we're looking at a new card revealed for Ignition Assault. We just got the other one. Can't even remember what it's called. The Quick Play spell that specials a Time Thief monster from hand, and then also does some other things. And oh my god, Yu-Gi-Oh! Organization is so slow right now. But we got a new trap card, and not only is it a trap card, but it is a counter trap card. And if you know, if you don't know, Konami has been going just mad with counter traps. They've been giving it to every archetype under the sun, and the people who love those archetypes aren't mad because counter traps are good. They're spell speed 4. I mean, the only thing that can be responded to them is other counter traps. So just, you know, they tend to be the end all be all of chains and negating stuff, and this one is no different. So let's get right into it. We're looking at Time Thief Retrograde. I really like the artwork here. You have Time Thief Winder and Redoer up here, and then the girl in the lab, who I believe also is Perpetua, doubles as Perpetua, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, sending them stuff. I don't know, information. But as far as what the card does, counter trap, like I said, you can only activate one per turn. Makes sense. When a spell or trap card is activated while you control a Time Thief XYZ monster, negate the activation, and if you do, attach that card as XYZ material to a Time Thief XYZ monster you control. Pretty solid. I mean, really, it is searchable in the archetype. Well, okay, before we get there, let's just talk about raw what this is. Some people may complain about this card. It does not negate monster effects, and I would have to say that of the three monster spells and traps, negating monster effects is probably the most important, but that doesn't mean this card is not good. If you combine this card like with Redoer, like you negate a spell or trap card, and then after you negate a spell or trap card later in the turn, you use Redoer to like shuffle, or not shuffle, but put a monster back on your opponent's deck. You know, that can be enough. Those are two pretty powerful disruptions. Combine that with any possible hand traps you might play in the deck. If you want to play a trap variant, whatever, that's going to be enough to stop most decks. Almost all decks, pretty much. And then the fact that it just loads up the material onto your Xyz monster, even more help. I will say that, like, loading up a trap on Redoer is the most important, except for maybe monsters. Sometimes you need him to come back, but if you don't need him to come back, or the fact that you already made him with monsters, most likely, the trap is more important than the spell, but the spell is going to be the easiest one for you to negate, because if you went first, set this up, your opponent's going to activate a spell, you negate it and attach it, you get the draw one effect live. Okay, but you don't have the disruption anymore, so you don't tack that on, and nobody's going to be using a trap turn one, theoretically, unless maybe evenly matched. But so I guess this is a cool counter to evenly match, because that'll be the first one, and obviously you have to negate that, and you're giving Redoer a trap to bounce. Pretty strong, but yeah, it's still a good card nonetheless. I just wish, I mean, I don't know, it's just not going to be as easy to get a trap on there. Not that it can't be done, just not as easy as you might hope. Very good card. And then as far as it fitting into the archetype goes, we already have Time Thief Winder. That's the monster that when he's normal or special summon, he'll search any Time Thief card from deck to hand. Bada bing, bada boom. Grab this guy. Grab this material. Or this card. Jesus. So it is fetchable. I'm not sure if the three new cards, Perpetua, the Quick Play spell, and this card will fully round out the archetype just yet. I feel like we're missing one or two main deck monsters to really make the archetype do something, like be enough for it to be an actual Time Thief deck. My other thing is that, like, do you want to just play this raw if you're not playing Winder? Probably not. You probably want to play one or two copies of this, just kind of like Salamangreats, like Orcus. Should you have combo going through Winder, you're just gonna use Winder to like search this, right? Which is probably the way to go. Nothing too crazy, but it's a good card, really. There's not really much to say. I mean, as far as fitting into the archetype, it's nice, it's strong, it's a good disruption. It's a counter trap. There's nothing too much to say about it. So that's pretty much it here. This is like, and I will say, this is like an important piece that I was looking for as far as like support for Time Thieves go. We have a possible interruption with Redoer, shuffling a face-up card, not shuffling, but putting a face-up card back on the deck. but that's not enough. Like your deck needs to do one more. Like the archetype itself needs to do one more, and then maybe you play some hand traps or some traps around that, and then all together you just draw one hand trap, one trap, and then be able to set up this and a redoer with a trap, and that's going to be pretty tough for any deck to break through. There's the fact that redoer is going to come back every turn as a 2400 beater. He's still taking materials off your opponent's deck, and you know you can just do a lot with that. So that's pretty much it. Don't want to spend too much time. It's just one card today, but I'm really excited. I think this is a hugely important card for the deck, for a deck like Time Thieves to get along their way to being an actual playable full deck, not just a random rank 4 spam deck, but actual Time Thief stuff. Actually playing all the Time Thief stuff like in the main and stuff. I think this goes a long way to supporting that. But that's pretty much it for me here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you have not yet, subscribe to the channel for more news. Every time new cards drop, I pretty much review almost every card that's like interesting, important, semi-important. When they drop, I review them. So definitely sub if you want to see more of that in the future. And I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. Peace.